Hello! It's not Thursday. This is a super secret bonus episode for anybody who saw the articulated slug and wanted to make the little poppet square. So we are just going to make one of these really quickly today. The pattern for this has been included in the written pattern for the articulated slug. If anybody is looking for that, it is available on both Patreon and on Etsy, and there are links to both in the description down below for anyone who is interested. So to make the square, all you need is 8-ply 100% acrylic yarn and a 3.5mm hook and a pair of scissors. I also recommend that you have a bobby pin or a stitch marker available to help you with part of this pattern. Now I'm going to be using two colors today because I like the little two-toned look, but this pattern can also be simplified if you want to just use one color. So here's the little pop square we're making today. So we're going to start by grabbing the color you want your little blister to be. And we're going to make a magic ring of 6. So there is our magic ring, and now we're going to work 6 single crochet into it as our first row. Like so. Now you are going to want to pull that ring quite tightly. In row 2, we're going to put an increase into each of the 6 stitches around. Now I work in visible increases, and that means that the first stitch of the increase goes into the front loop only of the stitch. And the second stitch of the increase goes through both loops of the stitch. So there's our first increase, and I'm going to do 5 more of those around. Now you might notice that I'm working over the top of the tail as well, just to weave it into my stitches and save me some cleaning up later. Like so. You should count and make sure you have 12 stitches in your round, and I do. So now we are going to work 2 rows of 12 single crochet. That's just putting 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a combined total of 24 stitches. So there we go, that's our little blister, and you should stick your thumb in it at this point. And you'll note that I don't have a very tight fit around any of my fingers. This will become tighter when we add our square shell around the outside. So if you cannot comfortably fit your digits into it at this point, then I suggest you start again with either a larger hook or a thicker yarn, or both. Now in the final stitch of round 4, I'm going to be changing to my other color. If you're working all in one color, you can disregard this step. So to change colors, I'm going to frog the final stitch of round 4, and I'm going to work it as a color change instead. What that means is I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop of my existing color, hold that out of the way, grab a strand of the color I'm changing to, which is this juicy watermelon color, pinch it on the inside of the stitch, then yarn over and pull through both of those loops to complete the stitch. So then I'm just going to tug on the tails a little bit to settle that stitch down nicely into place. And what you should be able to see is that it leaves us with a finished single crochet in our yellow with our new color on our hook ready to go. Now at this point you can choose to tie these little tails together and trim off your starting color. So for round 5, we're going to be working at 12 front post single crochet around the outside of our piece. And all that means is we're going to be working around the post of the stitch instead of through the loops. And because it's front post, we're going to insert our hook from the front of the piece, back to the front of the piece, yarn over and pull up our loop, and then yarn over and complete our stitch that way. So there is our first one, and we are going to work those the whole way around. Now if you're doing this right, you should be left with 2 pairs of loops. So you should have loops in your old color and loops in your new color. So these stitches are what's going to provide the nice snap or pop to your finished square. And from here on out, we're going to be building up the square around it. So at this point, we are going to grab our bobby pin or our stitch marker. I personally prefer bobby pins to stitch markers. And we're going to find the first set of inner loops. So I'm going to do that by working out the loops of the most recent stitch and counting backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then they're always hidden a little bit. So the first set of loops is like tucked under here. And the reason I'm marking that is we will actually be using these loops again at the end of the project to hold everything together. So the next part of this pattern is working up the little square base around it, which is doubled over to give it extra strength to withstand a little bit more popping. So to do that, we're going to evenly place 4 different points of increase around the outside of our little blister. Now, if there's any confusion for you as to which set of loops you should work into, you want the outer set of loops, which are conveniently in a different color to the inner set of loops. And we start that by working a single crochet. Then 3 single crochet all into the same stitch. And then a single crochet. So there is our first corner, and we're going to repeat that 3 more times around our piece. So single crochet, 3 single crochet into the same stitch, and then a single crochet. There's our second corner. There is our third corner. And our fourth corner. So it's already starting to look a little bit square, but we want a slightly bigger square. So now we're going to exaggerate that a little bit more. So work 2 single crochet, then 3 single crochet all into the same stitch, and then 2 single crochet. So there is our first corner. We're going to do that again. So 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet all into the same stitch, then 2 single crochet. There is our second corner, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So there we go, that is the size our square will be. So now we are going to work 28 back post single crochet around, and just as a disclaimer, unlike the front post stitching that we did at the start, this is purely for the aesthetic. It gives you a nice sharp edge around your square. So if you prefer to not do back post single crochet at this point, just work 28 regular single crochet around. But for those of you who want to do back post, it is once again around the post of the stitch, and we're going to insert our hook from the back of the piece around the post back to the back of the piece. So you can fold the work forward to access that post. Then yarn over and pull up a loop and finish as you would any normal single crochet. So work 28 of those around the edge of your square. So there we are at the end of that row. So once again, this does leave you with 2 sets of loops. You've got this front set of loops around the side facing you. Those are the decoration. And then we'll be working in these back set of loops. So now we are going to be closing off the back of our square. So we do that by working 2 single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 3 together. So we do that by inserting our hook through the front loops only of the next 3 stitches, yarning over and pulling up a loop through those 3 loops. Should leave you with 2 on your hook. and yarn over and complete the stitch. We're then going to work 2 more single crochet. So that is our first corner closed off, and we have 3 more to do. So once again, we're going to work 2 single crochet, single crochet 3 together, and then 2 single crochet. So second corner, 2 single crochet, single crochet 3 together, and 2 single crochet. So there is our third corner. We have 1 more to go. 2 single crochet, single crochet 3 together, and 2 single crochet to finish the round. So it's all looking a little bit funny right now, like a little cupcake. But our square is starting to close off at the back, and if you pinch this flat and give it a little stretch, it will help it form the square that you want it to. So we have 1 more round to close off our square a little bit more, and then we're going to attach everything together. So row 10 starts with a single crochet, then we're going to single crochet 3 together, and then a single crochet. There is our first corner, going to repeat it 3 more times. Single crochet 3 together, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet, and finally 1 single crochet is single crochet 3 together, and a single crochet. So once again, I'll get you to pinch around the 4 corners of your square to flatten everything out. There is just 1 more step to finish off our pop square. Now, I'm going to be completing this step using my hook and slip stitching. However, you can finish off at this point and use a needle to complete the final step. Some of you might find one way easier than the other. So we're going to be putting 12 slip stitches around the row, but we're going to be working them through the current stitch and that row of loops that we marked a couple of rows ago. So what that looks like is I insert my hook through the next stitch in our row, and also through the set of loops that we marked as the first one in our row a couple of rows back. So I'm through both stitches at the moment, and I'm just going to yarn over and slip stitch, like so. So then I'm going to do that to the next stitch as well. So the next stitch in our current row and the next stitch of our yellow loops, and slip stitch, next 2 stitches. Basically just continue that the whole way around. So then when you've worked your 12 stitches around, you just finish off. Now you can do the exact same thing with a needle and a piece of yarn, just making sure that you're working through those loops if you find slip stitching is a little bit tricky. Now I'm just going to tuck this end down into the walls of my square, and we'll take it for a little test drive. And pop out my stitch marker. So you'll note that I'm pinching the corners and stretching it a little bit. It will all loosen up a little bit after you've had a few goes. And we're going to poke the blister through to the other side. See, we've got a little end poking out there. We'll clean that up. And now I can poke it backwards and forwards as much as I like. So that is how you make my little poppet square. I think they're great for keychains or just keeping in a pocket, and I personally really like the fact that they're machine washable. And I keep one on my desk most of the time now just to help me work out some of that fidgety energy when I can't have a hook in my hands. Now, just one note about the poppet square. I'm not sure how much heavy duty use this is going to be up to, but they whip up so quickly, and this one here has managed to handle at least 1 week's worth of abuse. And to me, that's kind of a fair trade. They're not going to last as long as the silicone ones just because of the nature of what they are, but honestly, I find this one a little bit more satisfying than the silicone ones. It's a personal preference thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little bonus episode, and I will see you on Thursday when we return to our regular content. Okay, bye!